Thank you, and thank you especially to the Notre Dame band. Aren't they great guys? And the cheerleaders and everybody, these people have worked extremely hard. If you don't already know, the band has driven straight through from South Bend starting on Thursday. They'll drive straight through back on Sunday. And so they really are the hardest working band in show business now. Made a great sacrifice, and they also made a great event. If you weren't there earlier this afternoon, they did a wonderful event at the Children's Center Hospital out in Bethany. Really cheered up a lot of sick kids, and also entertained a whole lot of kids from the Bethany School District. So thank you so much, guys. It's really great. Now, how many people do we have from out of state here? Thank you so much. I hope you find that Oklahoma have a lot of hospitality left. Championship hospitality, as President Bowman likes to say it. Now, you may not have thought that would be the case if you've been reading the newspaper. If you're from out of town, let me clue you in on the headline from this past Monday. Why they hate Notre Dame. Of Oklahoma, and I'm also a Notre Dame fan. The Oklahoman side of me apologizes. That might sound a little bit negative, but now I have to say, in our behalf as Oklahomans, we have a little bit of a beef with Notre Dame. Because, you know, the Alabama fans, they hate us because we're Oklahoma. LSU fans, they hate everybody. I don't know why. Oklahoma fans normally are pretty nice, but Oklahoma fans do have one real reason to be Notre Dame. I don't think they hate us, but they have one reason to be earned. And that little pride in the history of Oklahoma. By far the worst day in Oklahoma history was April 1995. But the second worst day in Oklahoma history was November 16, 1957. It was supposed to be a great day. It was statehood day. 50 years to the day after Oklahoma became a state, a year's worth of celebrations. The capstone to the whole thing was supposed to be the Oklahoma Sooners hosting the greatest football team, Notre Dame, to showcase how great the Sooners had become. The one true world-class franchise that Oklahoma had 55 years ago. Out of the Dust Bowl, out of the Depression, but we had one thing that Oklahomans can be proud of, the Sooner football program. We played football better than anybody else, so we thought, until the outcome of that day. Now, us Notre Dame fans don't need to apologize for that. We, after all, form a community for a reason that is much deeper than simple state citizenship. But Oklahoma fans really did focus their entire pride on the Sooner football team.
Hey, you guys watch me, okay?
Thanks. World-class thing about Oklahoma. Now, 57 years later, in 2012, things have changed. We have a lot of world-class things about Oklahoma now. We've got, our economy is booming. We've got great companies. We're in the shadow of gleaming skyscrapers you can see right here to your left. We've got all the amenities of Bricktown and downtown, such as you're in here at this park here today, that we've built from scratch without anybody else's help. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder. Which this time next year will be world champions. And I hear there's even a couple of good things going on in Tulsa, if you can believe it. And so there's a lot of things to be proud about here in Oklahoma now. We don't have to focus ourselves around the Sooner football program anymore. And so one Oklahoma Sooner loss will not wound the pride and the ego of the whole state like it did back in 1957. And that is why Notre Dame fans do not need to apologize. When tomorrow we go down to Norman and we once again beat the Oklahoma Sooners 9 times out of 10. Now I'd like to introduce our first speaker for the night. She's come down all the way from South Bend. She's an 84 graduate. She's the executive director of the entire Alumni Association. think we have a very nice lady I met her this afternoon. She's really wonderful, and she's come out all the way to put their hands together for Miss Dolly Duffy.
Director of your Alumni Association. I had a moment today, a Notre Dame moment, and some of you also did, where we got to witness the band and the cheerleaders do what they do so well besides playing music, and that's giving back. We were at the Children's Center, where they talked to, spoke to, gave hope to so many, many children. That is a true Notre Dame moment. Notre Dame moment in 1999, when the Fighting Irish handed Coach Stoops his first loss at Oklahoma. Do you remember that game? The Irish came back in the third quarter to overcome a 30-14 deficit, right? To finish the game in the fourth quarter, 34-30. Now that was a Notre Dame moment. 20 unanswered points. You think we'll do that tomorrow? I'm often asked if I was a cheerleader. How many of you think I was a cheerleader in high school? How many of you think I was a cheerleader at Notre Dame? You're not very smart, because one look at these cheerleaders would let you know that I have no talent compared to what they have. But instead, I had the honor of being the statistician for the high school football team for 4 years. So I want to share some stats with you for tomorrow's game. You all know this is the 10th meeting of these two teams, right? And the Irish have won 8 of the last 9 previous meetings. The Sooners' only win was way, way, way back in 1956. And before tomorrow, the most memorable meeting of these two teams, as Bill talked about, was when? 57. And they're still upset about it. But we pulled off a 7-0 victory, didn't we? Now, as I go down the numbers, one of the numbers I haven't said yet was 3, so I thought, I think we're going to win tomorrow's game by a field goal, 3 points. How many? I think I hear more. How many of you think a touchdown? And how many think 2 touchdowns? So what's this 11.5-point margin? And the Sooners have lost just 4 games since Coach Stoops arrived. And only 1 per season. But they've already lost to K-State this season, so don't you think it's time we break another record? So one last thing, in addition to being a statistician, I'm a history major. And I was a little curious today to figure out, what does the word Sooners mean? So I went to Wikipedia. You to listen up, because I want you to know what we're getting into. England officially proclaimed this land for settlers. That means they cheated. Now, Wikipedia didn't call them cheaters, but we are. And here's what Wikipedia says. Sooners crossed into the territory illegally at night. They'd hide in the ditches and suddenly appear to stake their claim. We're not going to let them stake their claim tomorrow. And if they try to hide in the ditches, do you know what they'll find? Titanium! So let's break every single record we've ever had with the Boomer Sooners and go Irish!
Thanks, everybody. We're going to turn right back to the Notre Dame band here in just a second. But before we do that, one quick announcement I want everybody to know. You may have read about him in the paper today. There's one other person who came down from South Bend for this game. He is the oldest Notre Dame fan who will be in the stadium tomorrow. And a very good friend of the Notre Dame club, as is his entire family. He literally grew up on Notre Dame and South Bend Avenue in South Bend in the shadow of the Golden Dome. And his 91st birthday is today. Just to the left of the stage here, and you'll see him because he'll be on the field tomorrow being celebrated. If you can't see him tonight, happy birthday, Mr. Jack Bramer. Our next speaker will turn it over once more to the Notre Dame band.
All right. Well, the Band of the Fighting Irish is led by our colorful, kilted Irish Guard. Each of the 10 guards must be 6 feet, 2 inches in height, but will appear over 7 feet tall in full uniform. Formed in 1949 by then-director H. Lee Hope, the Irish Guard are skilled marchers who are chosen for this honor on the basis of ability, appearance, and spirit. And now, we introduce to you the Irish Guard in their traditional performance of Daw Sabua, our victory clog.
Now we've got a real special treat for you. A native Oklahoman from the Tulsa area and a former Notre Dame football player as well, from 99 to 03. Also one of the great offense, defense, special teams performers from Jenks High School. Anybody from Jenks? I've heard of that football program a couple times before. And a great quarterback from the University of Notre Dame who was on the last team back in 99 to play the University of Oklahoma, Mr. Jason Beckstrom.
Let's make some noise, Irish! I gotta tell you what, I feel like the stage is set for a victory tomorrow. It's almost eerily similar to back in '99, the last time that Notre Dame beat the Irish. I was a freshman. I'm sorry. That wouldn't make much sense if the Notre Dame beat themselves, right? Back in '99, when we went out, like Dottie said, and we beat OU, after coming back from 16-point deficit after the first half, it was fans like you, fans that traveled miles and miles from around the country to come see us and support us. I can't tell you what that means to a team like we're going to put on the field tomorrow. In a stadium that's going to be hostile, there's going to be stuff thrown, there's going to be things said that I probably can't stand up here and repeat at this microphone. It's going to be guys like you that look the other team in the eye, look the other fans in the eye, and tell them what you feel and what we're going to do to those guys on the field tomorrow. You know, I moved back to South Bend about 6 months ago to start an NBA program. And one of the biggest surprises, thank you, one of the biggest surprises was the fact that Manti Te'u, Zeke Mata, Theo Riddick, Sierra Wood, I found out were all my next door neighbors. And I can tell you, I've seen a lot of football games between when I graduated and now, and there are very few teams, very few players that make me want to strap on the pads and get back out there. That's what we've got in this team. You know, I was driving in, I was listening to the radio, listening to some of the things that the OU fans were saying they were going to do to Notre Dame, what they felt about our particular football team. And it's funny, if you listen long enough, you can actually hear these people trying to talk themselves into the fact that how they think that they're better than us. Now, as Bill said, I'm from Oklahoma, so you can imagine the difficulty I'm having standing up here, trying to think of what to say about the garbage that was written in that papers that he was talking about, what was said on the radio. And I want to tell those people where to shove it. But the Irish side of me says, well, we can just save that for tomorrow, because I know you guys are going to do that for me. So again, when you come out tomorrow, you have to make as much noise on every single play. From whistle to whistle, all day long, from opening to closing. And leave no doubt in everyone's eyes that we are indeed. God bless, go Irish.
This evening by locking arms and playing Notre Dame Our Mother.
of gratitude, Jason and Dolly, if you could come up. We want to give you complimentary t-shirts that our club has printed up. It's got the record, 8-1. Jason. And Dolly, thank you so much. And if anybody wants the same t-shirts, just come up to the left of the stage. We've got them for sale tonight. That's our show for tonight. We've got one more song for you. We'll wrap it up. Again with the Notre Dame Band. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And go Irish tomorrow!
That would be a great trade.
Go Irish! Go Irish!
All right.
Right here. Good girl.
I think Luna's probably the only place that
Is it a little too dark for that?
Yeah, a little.
Awesome.